There are some phrases that people say that drive me crazy or that I really don't like. I understand why they say them, but I'm going to get into it here today. And the reason I'm going to talk about two phrases specifically that I hear. One, I hear a lot. The other one, not as much anymore, but every once in a while. And it has to do with Christian culture and things like that in regards to our bodies. So I'm going to get into it, okay? But first, welcome to the Body Ally podcast, where we are learning how to stop battling with our bodies and food from a faith-based approach. We learn instead how to be an ally with our bodies, partnering with them and accepting them as the gift that God intended them to be. And we learn how to pursue our health goals, not in an effort to prove value, but as an act of love. And I am your host, Kerrie Nygard. Okay, let's get into it. So the other day, I was around a group of women, and this was maybe a month or so ago. No, maybe 2 months ago in June. And someone made a comment about how her body wasn't ready for swimsuit season and that she needed to get her body swimsuit ready. And inside, why do I not like this phrase? I wrote some notes down here because I didn't want to forget anything. Why do I not like this phrase? Well, first, it implies that there's a lack of worthiness of your body, that somehow your body isn't worthy enough to wear a swimsuit unless she looks a certain way. Remember, your body is not an object. Your body is your holy vessel that houses you as you journey throughout time on this earth, and your body is a gift from God. So when you say things, or when you hear people say things, my body isn't swimsuit ready, or I got to get my body ready for swimsuit season, it upholds a lot of really destructive ideas that really uphold this whole diet culture mentality, which, you know, if you've been around here long enough, I believe that diet mentality is truly one of the greatest booby traps of our time set for women, because it distances us from other people, from God, and from ourselves, because we're so hyper fixated in on, am I right in the world? Is my body the way it's supposed to be? What should I eat? What shouldn't I eat? Trying to earn our worth, trying to be good today, or letting it all go because we were bad today with food. Okay. Or it also distorts our worth, and it distracts us from our true higher purposes in life. I spent so much time thinking about if my body was the way it was supposed to be and what I would need to do to get my body to be the way it was supposed to be so that I could feel right in the world. And then even if I got my body to where it was supposed to be, I lived in fear that it would regain so I wouldn't be where I was supposed to be. I was treating my body like a problem to be fixed. I was treating my body like a before picture, and I was seeking the after picture. You know that you see that. I remember as a little girl standing in the grocery lane with my mom, and there'd be all the little magazine covers, right? And always, like on the women's magazine and on other magazines, right on the front cover, they would do the before and after, how I lost 100 pounds and all the recipes I used. And there would always be a before and after picture. I do not do before and after pictures of myself. I've had people online say, I don't think you've ever been overweight. Show me a before picture. And I'm like, because what you're implying is that my body is less valuable at a certain size and more valuable at a smaller size. This whole idea is bolstered up by this idea that a woman's perceived level of beauty is based upon how close she can get to a society's made up idea of an ideal beauty standard. And dieting is the way that we get there. So food no longer becomes the way we nourish and support our body. It now becomes the way that we add or take away from our value, which tricks our survival responses. And then we hyperfixate on food, have out of control behaviors around food, feel like we can't trust ourselves around food, constant mental brain chatter around food. And then there's this vicious cycle, and it all upholds itself. So when you say something like, I'm not swimsuit ready, you're playing into this whole idea that's a booby trap. You've been indoctrinated, and you don't even see it. You've been indoctrinated to believe that your body is more valuable at a certain size and less valuable at another certain size. Now, I'm not saying don't have health goals. I'm all for them. I'm not even saying don't have weight loss not be one of your health goals. I'm just saying pursue it for much better reasons. Pursue it as of acts of love, not in pursuit of being worthy of love. Let me say that again. pursue your health goals or pursue weight loss from a place of being in a deep, loving, accepting relationship with your body. Because here's the thing, the least interesting thing about your body is how she looks or what she weighs. Your body is a gift, a living vessel that's allowing you to be housed within her. Here's the thing though, is that she's reliant upon you just as you're reliant upon her in order to live. She is a gift from God. She's a mystery and a miracle. That's why they call it practicing medicine, because they just have their best guess and they know some things, but not much in compared to all the things that there would be to know about your body. And so realize your body's a miracle. Your body's a gift. She does not need to earn worthiness to put anything on her body. Your body is worthy to swim. Your body is worthy to be involved in any activity that you desire to do. She does not need to look a certain way in order to do it. Now, I'm not naive. I know that some of you listening right now have enough weight on your body or enough stored energy, adipose tissue on your body where some movements become difficult. And I'm all for you releasing that stored energy. But don't you think for 1 minute that when you lose that stored energy that now your body becomes more valuable. So there's a quote that I really like. There's these two sisters, Lexi and Lindsay Kite. They both have PhDs. They're twin sisters. They're identical twins. And they wrote a book called Beauty Redefined. Great book. Highly recommend it. I always say you're not your body. And then like a year or two later after I had an experience where I learned that I'm not my body, like on a really deep level. And I've talked about that in another podcast, in front of the mirror, where one day I was looking at myself and instead of critiquing my body, I had this big aha moment where I realized my body's not me. My body's a gift and I am housed within my body and she is my partner. They say, so Lexi and Lindsay Kite, they say that we're more than a body. So similar, but a little different. So their quote in their book, one of their quotes in the book says, if you only love your body when you love how you look, that is not love, that is objectification. So when you think, I'm not swimsuit ready, you have demoted your body to the same thing as an object. A pen, a desk, a lamp, a vase, a shirt you might put on or off. You have objectified your body. You have minimized your body to only be an object that's only worthy of your appreciation if she looks the way that society has programmed you to think that she ought to look. Fast forward, re-listen to that again, or let me even say it again. The quote is, if you only love your body when you love how you look, how the body looks, that is not love, that is objectification. You've demoted your body, demoralized your body, made her mean only as much as a piece of decor. Your body is worthy of love and appreciation and acceptance no matter what, because she's your gift from God, and without her you wouldn't be alive. And there's no moment of joy that you have not experienced together. There's no moments of pain that she has not carried you through. You don't have to love the way your body looks in order to have unconditional love for your body. Seriously, there's parts of my body that I think look funny. And I'm at a really healthy body composition, lean mass to fat mass. I'm at a really healthy composition. And there's still parts of my body I think are funny looking. I have some stretched out, saggy skin. I have dimpled thighs. And the older I get, the more saggy and dimply they look. That's not my favorite. I don't love the way that looks, but I don't withhold any love for my body. I just say, yeah, bodies look kind of funny. And I love her dimply and stretch marked and saggy skin and all. I'm all in on her, 100%. I love her unconditionally. She does not have to be swimsuit ready. She gets to go have fun in the water at any day of the year. She doesn't have to lose weight in order to be worthy to put a swimsuit on. What does that even mean anyway? What if you got to a place where you were swimsuit ready? What you're saying is, I'm putting this swimsuit on so that I feel like I'm safe from mine own and others' judgment of me. That judgment is propped up again on the propaganda and indoctrination of diet culture. How much time and energy have you been distracted from your life because of ideal beauty standards of society has made up being pushed upon you as something you're supposed to achieve? Instead of seeking a specific size, I wonder if you did all the inputs and all the actions, not perfectly, but a B standard wise, I wonder if you instilled those healthy habits in a way out of acts of love and continue to them, I wonder where your body would go. I wonder what she would do. Probably when you loved her unconditionally, you'd much more successfully reach your health goals. Okay, so this whole idea, and you could insert anything like, oh, I'm not tank top ready. My arms aren't tank top ready, right? My backside's not swimsuit ready. My legs aren't short weather ready. Or I'm not ready for the formal dress for some event coming up. Or I'll go on the trip when my body looks a certain way. Withhold no experiences from your body that are within your capability now. Now, you may desire to, this is a really common one with women in my program, that I hear this pretty often. I want to be able to hike. I want to be able to, but my body can't right now. So what's the next closest thing that your body can do now? Go do that thing. And in the doing of the thing, you eventually will become the one, you'll get closer and closer to being the one who's able to climb the hill. So whatever it is that you desire, what's the closest thing to that you're able to do now? Do it now. Your body's worthy of doing it now. Okay, so the second phrase that I don't like, I'm going to talk about. This isn't one that I hear online or anything. This is very much so a Christian type culture, especially if you're in communities within the Christian, and I'm going to say culture, or Christian subsets. It's necessarily not based upon Christian doctrine, but in cultural applications of that doctrine. Okay, and this is one that I'll hear out there from time to time. And people say it and they think they're being cute. And I would hear this from time to time. I spent years working at different times in my life with teenage girls in my church. And sometimes there were lessons that were just for the girls. And sometimes there'd be lessons about modesty. That's a really common one that would come up, maybe once a year or so. And there was a phrase that I heard, and if you've ever used this, just decide never to use this. You know better, so you're not going to use it anymore, okay? Are you ready for it? Modest is hottest. Ugh, it makes me want to throw up. Because you're taking this idea of modesty. First off, just the phrase shows me that your understanding of modesty is incorrect. You've made modesty just an aspect of the amount of fabric covering the amount of square inches of your body covered by fabric. And it isn't that. It can show up and it could be presented that way. That can be a part of it. But modesty at its core is the result of a relationship that individual has with their creator. And from that relationship, there's going to be an attitude around their God-given gift of their body. So if you treasure a certain relationship in your life and they give you a gift that really inhabits something you share together, then you're going to treat that gift with care because it reflects or is a representation of the gift of that relationship or of the quality, how much you prize that relationship. Similarly, our bodies are a gift from God. Therefore, the way we view our bodies is going to be reflected in an attitude of how we care for our bodies, how we groom them, how we care for them, right? Sleep, eating, activity, right? Modesty, and also how you dress your body. It will be reflected that way. So when people, and maybe you've never heard that phrase before, and if you've been preserved from hearing that phrase, you are a blessed person. And if you've used that phrase, let go of it now. No longer say that. You know better, so we can do better, right? Modest is hottest. It implies this idea that modesty is subjected to this really small part of its application that can look different from person to person. One person's idea of modest dress is going to be different than the next person's idea of modest dress. And that's a personal decision based upon their relationship with God. Because someone could be covered from head to toe and judging everyone else who isn't. And guess what? Who holds the fault? The person who's judging all the time, right? So this is a personal thing. It's a reflection, right? I care for my body and I groom and take care of my body as a reflection of the relationship I have with God. And in that appreciation, because of that relationship, of the gift that he's given me. Do I wear a certain level of clothing? Yes. Do I strive to dress in a way so that my body does not become a distraction from, it would be strange for me to wear a swimsuit to church, right? It would be a distraction. So we don't want to use our body as distractions. We want, right? And then we also want to accept our body as the gift God intended it and let that reflect, which would entail how you would groom your body. However, that's going to be individual for each and every man and woman. Man and woman. Did you hear me say that? Modesty is a whole attitude reflective of a relationship with God for every single human being, regardless of sex. Okay? Now, modest is hottest. Also, when you say hottest, it still implies that we can seek out the world's acceptance through objectification of our bodies, even while striving to be modest in this misunderstanding way of modesty. It's not about your body being hottest. It's not about others looking at your body and thinking, wow, that's an amazing body, and then feeling like your level of acceptability has increased because of someone else's thoughts about your God-given gift. Okay, I'm going to get off the pedestal here. Remember, your body's a gift. I invite you to do an exercise. This is one that I invite people to do sometimes on some of my free content. Maybe it's a workshop or something that people come to, but especially in my program, I invite women to do something. It's to look in the mirror. You can do it clothed or unclothed. I highly recommend doing it unclothed, but I know sometimes that can be triggering and very difficult if you're still heavily steeped within diet mentality, which those who are heavily steeped, they have a hard time even looking in the mirror because there's just so much judgment and so much negative self-talk. So you can do it, clothed from the neck up if you need to. But if you can, take your clothes off. Do this before the shower. Look in the mirror without judgment, without shame, without critiquing, and instead get curious and look deep into your eyes and notice the light that's within your eyes. That's a reflection of you. Bodies that don't have spirits or souls within them, dead bodies, they don't have light within their eyes. So when you can look at the light within your eyes, you can connect with your true essence, with who you really are, with the part of you that will return to your maker, right? When your body's dead here on the earth. You are not your body, and she is your most important gift. Look into the mirror, perceive of the light within your eyes, and notice that your body is fulfilling the measure of her creation in every single moment, regardless of the amount of adipose tissue she has on her body or how she looks. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Look at the description down below. I'm teaching a class currently called Peace with Food and Body. It's a free class. There's a link down below to be able to sign up for that free class. You can pick a time that works. I don't do recordings of that class or replays, so you got to pick a time that works for you. Would love for you to come. Also, I invite you in to being part of this movement, the Body Ally movement. What is the Body Ally movement? It's putting down this idea that we should ever be in a battle with our bodies. It's aligning ourselves with our bodies as an ally in this life. We support each other in a strong partnership. I invite you to reclaim that partnership that you have with your body. You can join this movement by sharing this podcast. It costs you nothing. Also, leave a rating down below. Give me a 5-star rating. Leave a raving review. If you don't have a raving review, then don't leave one. Okay? But if you do leave one, it helps the algorithms push our message forward, and it costs you nothing. Also, share this podcast with others. Share it on your social media. Text it to a few friends. You can spread this message and help free women from the bondage of diet culture so they can stop being distorted, distracted, and distanced in their life. They can get recentered and see their body as the gift and partner that she's always been. It brings true liberation, and I desire that for all women. All right, thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.